So I was reluctant at first to want to go over this book. This is Stryfe's Strike File, an X-Cutioner Songs Addendum. When I kind of flipped through this initially, when I got my local library, got this delivered, and I was able to flip through it, I was like, oh, this doesn't seem that great. But sat down, read it. Now, is it Shakespearean level like we've been reading? No. However, is it poetic? Hell yes. So let's dive into it. It's interesting. So this is a lot of people work on this book. Fabian Nicieza, Scott Liddell, Larry Stroman, Andy Kubert, Greg Capullo, Brandon Peterson, Jim Lee, Willis Pataccio, Mark Silvestri, Jimmy Palamont. I always get that guy's name wrong. Palamodi, I think, Al Milgram, Mark Farmer, Andy Kubert, Harry Candelario, Dan Pananosian, Mark Pennington, Scott Williams, Art Thibert, Kevin Tinsley, Chris Yiannopoulos, Steve Bunce, Dan Carr, KG Stockwell, Don Babcock, Susie Gaffney, Bob Harris, and Tom DeFalco. You guys can definitely tell I've not had enough coffee today. Now, we're not going to go through everything that's in this book, obviously, for A, copyright reasons, and B, because I want you guys to go read this book. However, let's kind of at least set the stage. Afternoon at the School for Gifted Youngsters in Westchester, New York. A brisk autumn wind whips through the dying leaves. The rustling, chafing sound carries through the open windows of Charles Xavier's study. For a moment, the noise reminds Xavier of a Gershwin song. He hums the melody and realizes he hasn't sung for a long time. His mother used to love his voice before puberty set in. His voice changed along with other things. Xavier is a mutant, born with telepathic abilities which manifested themselves during his adolescence. To some, that would be a boon, to others a burden. To Xavier, it has been both. He recuperates now from a murder attempt on his life, an attempt to shatter his dream. The man behind the thwarted assassination was named Stryfe, a megalomaniac mutant. He is dead now, consumed by his own manipulations of time and order. But he left a legacy behind, of sorts, a collection of thoughts and deeds, analysis and predictions. A computer disk found by the X-Men Bishop in Stryfe's base on the moon, turned over to Xavier, unseen and unheard, until now. So this goes into us reading all the dossiers that Stryfe has on all the X-Men. And let's kind of, again, I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but I will start with Xavier so you guys can kind of understand what I mean when I said it's poetic. It kind of has a Shakespearean feel to it, but just read, listen, I suppose. Xavier, what will it be then, Charles? Are you to be the caring grandfather, rocking your charges with gentility and ease? The soft-minded, senile proponent of happily ever after, of a future where man and mutant live together in harmony and peace? Or are you the caretaker of a time bomb, the clumsy handler of a walking nuclear arsenal? Which is it going to be, a preacher of the open hand? Can you decide what you're going to be? I can. I am the trigger, Charles. The hatred which links your dream to my nightmares is the fuse. And with your death, the match has been struck. Now let the ensuing explosion rock both heaven and hell, both yesterday and tomorrow. And I'll go ahead and read Magneto's because Stryfe kind of hits the nail on the head with these two. Magneto, father of the justifiable means, teacher of the slapping caress, a man who understood the necessity to preach peace and love, but fight for what he believed in. Inevitably, Magnus died as he lived, alone, confused, betrayed. The master of magnetism was always a man who believed so strongly in his ideas that he could not find the means to compromise himself for the sake of a chance at tomorrow. Forever Lancelot to Xavier's King Arthur, forever the tortured soul who desired tranquility but espoused brutality. Magneto has always been as flawed in his viewpoints, his judgments, and his methods as he claimed his mirror brother was. Neither of them learned in their hard, lonely lives that both their methods, working in unison, side by side, were what the mutants of this dismal mudball needed. More the fools them, more the pity us. If both men had learned to accept what was necessary in the other, perhaps the people of my time would not have to endure the kind of cruel existence life has slapped them with. Perhaps the world could have been the kind of harmonious utopia both men had envisioned. So that's why I get irked at Krakoa, because the idea of them finally coming together and making a place for mutants, sure. And that's why I didn't mind Utopia. But Krakoa was a little too segregation. It really threw Xavier's idea of coexistence out the window. Now let's talk about some of the other characters that I found really fascinating. Sinister, Caliban, Beast. Betsy's is really interesting because of her duality nature now. The forthright, uptight, proper British maiden has turned into a finely tuned killing machine. The woman whose heritage and upbringing crafted carefully constructed walls of reserve and superiority around her now finds herself unable to approach anyone psychically and mentally from the inside as well as out. What happened to this paragon of English virtue? How did she turn into a fiery dragon of the night, transformed by the manipulations of others she now in turn manipulates? But to what purpose? What hides beneath those shadowy eyes? What anger flares? What passions smolder? How does Elizabeth Braddock really feel about the changes she has undergone? How could anyone know when they haven't bothered to ask her? How could she know when she hasn't seemed to consider the changes too carefully? How odd that an ice telepath, someone so capable and willingly to cut to the core of other people's minds, is so unable to probe her own. Would that these blithely blind children begin to ask questions of her and of themselves? Because if they wait too long, they may not find the answers to their life. Great, great writing. Again, Ileana. Child of innocence, demon of hate, smiling girl in a field, frenzied teen in a war zone, a flower in her fingers, a sword in her hand, Ileana Rasputin, dark child magic, little girl mutant sorceress. What a combination. A creature who has seen more of time from both sides of the unending path than I could ever hope to. She has lived then and now, here and there, earth, present, past, and future. Limbo, never where, forever now. What would her future bring? What would be the onset of puberty trigger? Would little Ileana become a teleporting mutant in the care of the children of the atom, or a demoness apprentice in another region, even the Dinsian of hell feared to mention? In time, one would find out. But time is something not everyone has much of, no matter the age, no matter the desire. And I like that if you really pay attention, they pointed out upcoming events. My legacy may strike anyone born of mutant blood, from the oldest of the old to the youngest of the young. Remember, that comes up during Fatal Attraction, so just kind of keep that in mind for those that haven't read this. But yeah, just each character has these very poetic feelings and sets the stage for what's going to be happening in ensuing X-Men events. And what I like about it too is it's almost like a comic page full trading card. You get a very poetic, artfully, tasteful idea of what each character is and their motivations at this time. Cable, play the game with me one last time, mirror friend. Run through time with me and race against the repetition of sins we've endured and caused over and over again. See my reflection, mirror foe. Look at your face staring at you with scars carved in pain and hopelessness. Sneer as the glint of metal catches your eye and ask yourself, what are you fighting for? Humanity, mutants, tomorrow, today, all illusions, as you of all people know. There is nothing to be gained by fighting. Your future is past. Your past is immutable. There is only hatred to fuel us, hatred to consume us, hatred to engulf us. Walk in the fire with me, Nathan. Let us burn. So on a kind of a second read through, guys, this damn book is actually really good. Again, it's almost like while you're getting dossiers of the X-Men, you're also getting very awesome, poetic, kind of freestyle in a sense, ideas of who these characters are. And as it comes to an end, Xavier kind of starts to realize something about Stryfe and erases the diskette. Makes me feel old. But the sound of the leaves fade, the whirring of the machine dies down. The drum beats of Xavier's nervous heart continue. The staccato drum beat, rhythmic pounding of tension. The executioner song is over, and Xavier hears a new, darker song. So yeah, guys, I wasn't going to recommend this at first, but fudge. The artwork, absolutely gorgeous from all included art teams and writers. You can see the love and the fun that went into this. And of course, as I said, through this whole damn thing, how comics are a modern mythos, you can see how these people that took what Claremont did and tried to build their own and still pull from classic storytelling to create what we all love and enjoy to this day. So if you've enjoyed Stryfe's Strike File, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics and pick up this collected trade or the individual floppies. This is the only individual book that I do not have from the Executioner song, so I'm thinking I am going to try to pick this up. And if y'all are willing to part with a copy, let me know. Hit me up on the socials or send me an email at chrismacpresents@gmail.com. And also, if you guys are a little strapped for cash, you can also additionally support your local comic shop, your local library. That's where I've been getting these collected trades. It's been saving me having to pull out all my original floppies and kind of worry about damaging them. And plus, we get the whole cohesive story. So with that said, if you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little Stryfe bell next subscribe, that way I get to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, we have now completed the Executioner song, and I got an epic event coming up. So with all that said, hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting.